So this is the admin panel of CRM. If you go to the developer space, you will find a studio section here. For each section, its capabilities are mentioned here. As for the studio over here, you were told about everything you can do with the studio. The first option here is rename modules and module field labels, meaning any module that you are using in CRM, like the lead module that I told you about. I also told you about the opportunity, accounts, and contacts as well. So, how can you rename these modules according to your business process? For example, some customers call leads as inquiries. So, how can you rename fields? And whatever fields we have provided in it, or if you create any new field in future, how can you rename that field? You can control these things. Next, we have the enable disable module for web and mobile CRM. So, as we discussed, how can we enable or disable any CRM module for our web platform or mobile platform? That we will see now. If you want to enable notifications, etc., for any of your modules, as I told you, if I want to enable notification for a lead, someone from my team can assign the lead to someone. So, the person to whom that lead is being assigned should be notified that he has got so and so lead from so and so member. We will see that in this section. Next is how you can create any field. How can you place it on details view or list view? How can you manage your layouts? What properties can you use for that field? Or how can you control the behavior of that field? We will see that. So let's get into the studio menu. So this is the studio, and here you can see that a lot of different icons are available. And there are a lot of modules that we provide in the studio by default. First of all, the module name is given over here. Whatever modules are available in your CRM, by what name are those modules known at the backend? It means by what name are they known in their database structure? Those CRM module names are given over here. Singular and plural. Two options are given at the side here. Now, singular and plural are options for renaming that module. The name you will provide here can be in singular or in plural, which will be seen in the front end in the menu section. When you want to access that module, the name you see in that module, that name is visible from the singular and plural sections. Singular is used when you're referring a particular record, and plural is generally used when you want to view the entire list of records or if you're viewing the sub panel of something. So that's why we have given both the setups over here. When referring to singular, what name do you want to call it? When referring to a group of records for the same module, by what name you will call it? How can you do that process here if you want to change this name? That we will see in the coming section. From the web and mobile setting, you can control which modules of your CRM are accessible via the web browser. When you use CRM, which modules should be displayed in the menu bar? And similarly, for mobile applications, if you want to enable any modules, then how can you do that? Now, here you can see that in this CRM, some of the modules are enabled for the web platform, but not for the mobile platform. Now, this can be here. You may have given some modules only on the web, not on mobile platforms. One of the most important reasons for that is, though the capabilities of CRM are same for both the platforms, there are some functionalities which require more screen space for us to explore. Or whatever analysis is required there, it will not be possible to do it using the mobile. That's why we have to use the web application only. The best example to showcase that is its report module. Because whatever analysis is required for the report needs much more bigger space where you can analyze a lot of data all at once. So, this thing in the mobile application is not convenient to show, and along with that, it is also not feasible. Because the mobile screen compared to the web browser screen is very much compact. So all these things will not be displayed there together. That is the reason why we have given two different settings. Why we have set up for the web and why we have set up for mobile modules differently. Next, we have the notification option. Using this, you can enable or disable notifications for any modules. If notifications are enabled, there you will find these checkboxes checked. And for the modules for which notification is disabled, these checkboxes will be unchecked. It is not necessary that notification of everything is there in the CRM. Suppose if I have added a new line item below opportunity. So that line item has been added. Should this notification be sent to the owner of that opportunity or not? It might not be required for every business process. So if that is required, you can enable it. Otherwise, you can keep it disabled. That's why we don't give it as enabled by default. Similarly, when you place a call, the notifications of those calls are not required in terms of the assignment. If I have made this call, then that call is going to be logged anyway. So if that call is getting logged, I don't want the notification of its assignment separately. So we will keep that notification disabled for calls as well. The same thing will follow for the rest of the module as and when we will proceed. If you think that notification is not required in case a new account is created in your process, then you can tick the checkbox which is enabled from here. You can disable it by clicking on it. If changes are made, a message will appear here like this, that your changes have been updated. Next setting we have is for the global search. Which modules do you want to enable in the global search? You can manage that control from here. How to use a global search? We have already explained in detail in chapter number 2 of our user related course in the user section. So, in case you want to refer how to use the global search, you can go back to that video. You can go through that entire course once and review the chapter once. The global search capabilities should be limited to which modules. It means whenever I am searching for something, in which modules those searches should happen. We can control that from here. So you can enable whatever modules, which means whenever I search for any keyword here, it will go and search that keyword only in those modules and will not search in any other module. The next option we have is for the enable features. From here, you can enable or disable the additional features that we provide at module levels. What are the features and how are they used? That we will see this in a lot more detail in our coming sections. But for now, if you have to enable any feature or if you want to see which features are already enabled for this module, then you can click on this icon and see it from here. Next, we have the label control. From here, you can change the label of each CRM field related to this module from all CRM fields available to this module. If you click on it, it will show you that list of all the fields you have for that module, and there will be an option to change the field name for that module from where you can rename it. The key is something which is used for the backend purpose, so you can skip. It is not required. You understand the entire purpose of that thing or know it in detail. Whatever is there, that is also something which is more towards the technical side, that how you can use these default keywords. It will be covered in the Sangam CRM Developers course. But user defined is something that you can control from here. The field name that is available to you in this module, if you want to change that, how can you do it? You see all these field names here. When you focus on any field name, it opens in editable mode. You can then change that field name from there. If you understand that I see these tally ledger details and I want to rename it, the tally ledger name. So I can change it in this way. Similarly, if there are any other fields that I want to change, then we can change it from here. And then whatever labels we will change will be reflected on the screen. How it works and how useful it is in the label section, which I'll cover in detail, going back to the studio. Next, we have the relations, meaning this is the module in CRM and with how many other modules is it linked in CRM. If I want to see that, then for that we can use relations. When you click on that icon, then whatever default relations of this module are there in CRM, you can explore them. Again, we have covered this in a lot more detail in the coming section, so I'm not going through it, but I'll just show you what it will look like. So this is how you can view it. This is the name of the relation. This is the kind of relationship that the account module has with all the different modules that are linked to it. Going back to the studio. Next, we have this options. Now, options is something which has some more additional features, which are really powerful. Like if you want to set any dependency at the field level, some other field should be open based on the dependency of a field, or I have to mark some field as required as optional, or I need to give mandatory input. So you can control all those things from the options through dependencies. Next, we have the formula builder. Wherever you are applying any formula, like if I want that the subject of my ticket should be auto created or auto set, based on the customer name as well as the issue that itself he has reported. So by combining these things, we can auto create the subject of the ticket. So these are all things that happen through the formula builder. Just like you apply formulas in Excel. In the same way, which formulas can you apply for any field and how can you use it? We will do that full demonstration over here in the formula builder section. The third option here is sub-panel and pop-up filters. So sub-panel and pop-up filters are those filters which you can apply from the sub-panel, or you can apply those in pop-up. When you're fetching some data from your related modules, suppose you have an opportunity created at your end. Your account is already tagged in that opportunity. Now, if I want to create a quotation related to this opportunity, and I want that account that is mentioned in my opportunity should automatically be set in my quotation as well. So, for that, we can use these filters where we have all these configurations where the multiple modules are linked. There, you want that information auto set according to the parent record. We can do that setting here from the sub panel and pop up filter. The next way is that we say last modified inputs. Here you can see when was the configuration of this account module in the studio was last changed and who changed it. If you hover over here, you will see the same name of the person who has made the last change. System administrator. In the same way here, we see Vijay Malik. So there are different uses. If you have admin access provided across the segment or provided across the organization to a different set of admins, where your team is big, then in that case, if many people are controlling the admin function, then you will be able to see from here which admin made what changes and when. So we have seen how you can manage different set of actions or controls that we have in the studio. Let's revise what we have seen so far. So first of all, we saw how can we rename the modules. Next, we saw that if we want to enable or disable any module, how can we do that? That thing. How can we enable or disable the notification? Now in this, we missed to show you how you can use the notification bell icon. How can you identify and use those notifications? So let's go ahead and see how does the notification work actual life. So notification when you assign something to someone in the system. Like if I assigned a lead to Ishani here. So if you have enabled the notification option for the lead module, then you will get a notification here in this way. The name of that lead is shown above. That is Dipesh Mehta. And this lead has been assigned to Ishani. If they click on this notification, then they can see further details that this lead has been assigned to them. And what are the further details for that lead? In the same way, when you upload some leads or tickets in bulk or update in bulk, then you see the notifications about it by means of the notification bell icon. And it looks something like this. Like here, there was some mass update on the lead. So whether the mass update has been done or not, you can identify that from the notification here. Lead mass update was done successfully. You will get this type of message and you will be notified that they have been updated. So this is the use of notification settings in the studio. So we have seen label settings. You can change the label for any module. Like here, the account have now been renamed company and companies. In the same way, let's see. I want to rename lead as inquiry and inquiries. So how can we do that? Let's go ahead and see that. And whenever you change the labels, you need to make sure you change both the singular and plural labels. Otherwise, wherever there is a reference to the single record, you will see a different name. Wherever the whole list of records is being addressed, you will see a different name. Or if you're looking somewhere in the section, etc., from the menu, then there it takes its full name according to the plural form. So you will see a different label there. So it is very important that you always change both singular or plural whenever you have to rename any module. So, like here, I have renamed singular and inquiry, singular as inquiry, and for plural, we will mention it as inquiries. All these labels will be changed. After that, you can refresh the screen to verify whether these labels have been successfully updated or not. Else, you can just go ahead and open a new tab after making these changes and saving them in the studio. And when that new screen record gets loaded, there you will see the name of that module according to the new labels. So now you can see it on the screen. We renamed the lead module as inquiries. So here at the list level, you can see that the name of the lead module has been changed to inquiries, which is a plural form of inquiry. And if I go over the menu option, earlier it was visible as leads here. If you can see on the screen, you can see the name of this module, which is leads. After changing it to inquiries, it is now reflecting as inquiries. In the same way, when there is a singular instant, where will it be used? So, when you are creating something new, or if you refer to a specific single record, then it is called an inquiry and not as inquiries. I have told you all these settings. Now you have to search for something in it. Let's say you want to search for a specific module for which you need to change the settings of the studio. So you can also use this search functionality here. Here you will just need to type the module name. So according to that, you will get all the options related to that specific module and you can change it from here. In the same way, here at the top, there is an option of send sync notification. It is an option for send sync notifications that is basically used whenever you are making any changes to the mobile application layouts and you want to sync for all the users who are using the mobile app. So, as soon as you click on it, all the users will get a notification on their mobile application. From there, they can sync the application. Then they have those changes reflected in their mobile app. So, let's revise what we have seen in the studio so far. First of all, we saw how we could rename modules, like we just renamed lead module as inquiries. So if you want to change the name of any other module this way, as per your business process, you can change it. After that, we have seen how you can enable or disable any module in the web application or the mobile application. And I have also told you some of the best practices for that. Also, we mentioned that there are some modules like reports, etc., where you need a detailed or in depth analysis. For those things, it is better to use them from the web application, and we have not provided those modules in a mobile application intentionally. So, that is one thing that we have covered. The next point we have is enable disable notifications. So you can have notifications for assignments or bulk updates or bulk imports for any module. How can you enable or disable those? We saw that setting. There I told you that I had assigned one lead to Ishani, and when we access Ishani's login, then how does Ishani get to see that lead notification? After that, we saw how you can enable or disable global search. Related to the global search, there is one more point which had to be covered and that we will see in the coming section. There I will show you that there is a global search option in the field properties and how it is used. Next we have is that we looked at disabling and enabling the features. So the features that I have mentioned to you, in those features, we saw that whatever features you have, like global search is a feature or scorecard is a feature, then the print format is a feature. So all the features, if I want to enable or disable module wise, then how can we do that? Then there is module relationships. As we discussed, if any module has a relationship with multiple modules, the accounts module, for example, is linked with opportunity. It is linked with tickets and it is linked with leads. The relationship of the accounts module with these three modules. How are those relationships managed? I just showed you an overview of that. The detailed session on this will be covering in the coming chapters. Next, we discussed what other options do you have at the module level. I showed you three options there. One was how you can use it to apply the dependencies. How should dependencies be used? Like I gave you an example at that time. If I want that whenever I am creating any new lead and if I am mentioning the source as a reference, then I should be able to put that reference. I want to do that. So there we can use dependencies. Then if I want to use the calculated formula, the formula is nothing but a set of formulas which are predefined in the system. Just like you use some formulas in Excel. In the same way, you can use formulas at the field level in CRM as well. Here we saw an example that you want to keep the same name of the ticket as the combination of the account name plus the issue that was reported by the client. So my ticket's subject should be auto set as per the combination of these two. And in that section, we saw one more thing, which was the sub panels and pop up filters, which I explained. If you're using a parent reference for some module, there we saw an example of opportunities. Related to that opportunity, I have an account available with me. And if I create a quotation related to this opportunity, then how can I automatically set the account that is in the opportunity for the quotation? Now, here, I have not explained these features in detail. I have just shown you how you can control that functionality. The detailed walkthrough of these features will be there in the following sessions or the following chapters. Last but not least, we saw how you could use the send sync notification feature. Send sync notification, as I said, will be used if you're making any different setting for the mobile layouts. You want all your users to get that notification. So for that, you can use this notification.